and she thinks he kidnapped her and took her to a grocery store of all things and was dancing in the aisles because that's what kidnappers do, of course, dance with their victims in the aisles of grocery stores. Anyway, Hiya, welcome back to another Reading Wednesday. Long time no see. Didn't expect me to just dip out of January like that, huh? Yeah, me neither. Anyway, I'm gonna do like a reading wrap up pretty much for January and like so far how it's going for 2022. Yeah, so far in January I read 4 books, which 2 of them were like, one of them was an audiobook, right? And honestly, I've never listened to an audiobook before, okay? And I don't know why I did that, because I'm like, audiobooks are really wonderful. They're great. And I was depriving myself unknowingly for so long. But yeah, audiobooks are wonderful, especially that one. But and then one of them I did an audiobook / like ebook kind of thing, like I wasn't always listening to the audiobook. And then the other 2, the first 2 I actually did read, like, you know, print format, whatever. Alright, so the first one I've read in January was The Fastest Way to Fall by Denise Williams. It's a book that, like, I highly anticipated. Because I read her debut novel and it was okay. I didn't really like it. That should have been my sign, honestly. I didn't really like it, her first book. I was like, this is alright. The characters were okay and the romance was alright, but I wasn't really rooting for it, but it was just okay. And then, so I thought the second one would be better because I thought, like, the premise of it appealed to me more, where it was like this big black girl goes on like a fitness app and then she falls in love with her coach. I was like, oh, that's cute, that's nice, you know. And it disappointed me in ways that I've never been disappointed before by like a black interracial romance, I guess, which for me it was like, I'm gonna talk more about this in a separate video because now I'm on another book that did the same thing better, I feel, already. And I'm only on chapter 3, but I'm so confident. So I might make a book, not a book. I'm gonna make a video comparing the 2, The Fastest Way to Fall and The Love Con. And I'm gonna, you know, talk about why. Like, one succeeded in my eyes and one failed horribly, okay? But The Fastest Way to Fall, I ended up giving, what did I give it? 1 star. Yeah. Especially because near the end, I remember it was like pulling teeth. I was like, I just gotta finish it. We just gotta finish it at this point. And that one, and everyone else, it's like, it has like 4.14 average rating, 5,000 plus ratings. I was just so disappointed, and I can tell you why, but I'm not gonna tell you right now, other than I just didn't connect with the characters. And one of the biggest things that it must just be a me thing was for the main character didn't seem black to me, even though, I mean, she was. I'm pretty sure she is. It was mentioned so few times that I was just like, I don't know. It was almost like Denise Williams was scared to make her black and fat as well. I was just like, that's weird. That's weird. But yeah, that was the most disappointing thing for me. Anyway, and then the second book I read in January was We Are Not Like Them by Christine Pride and Joe Piazza. Now, it's not a book like I had my eye on, but as soon as I read the synopsis, I was super interested because it's like these 2 friends, one white, one black. They're like, and they've been friends all their lives. The white friend's husband is a police officer and he ends up being involved in the shooting of an unarmed black teenager. And then the black friend is a newscaster and she has to report on the case, and it's just like how this incident of police brutality and just racism affects their friendship, you know? And why was that one? I gave that one 2 stars for, like, you know, it's okay. And why did I do that? Because that book was, it's one of the books that just surprised me that, you know, it was published and like this is the final copy or whatever, because they constantly were telling instead of showing you. It was so much info dumping. I was just annoyed and frustrated, aggravated, whatever. It was just constant info dumping. Constant. Like, she would just say one thing and then she would go into a backstory about, like, their history and how this incident happened. And I think that was more Christine Pride than Joe Piazza, but they both did it, really. And it's not great. That's just not, no one wants to just be told. I know that's, you tell a story, but no, it's just a bunch of telling and no showing. And it was very frustrating. And then also when it came to racism, they were very heavy-handed with that. The main character, the black girl who's like, part of the friendship, what was her name? Riley. Okay, she experiences like every micro and macro aggression possible to experience as a black woman in America. Like every act of racism that is possible, she experienced it. Okay, and I'm like, I feel like this was supposed to make me relate to her, right? Like, oh yeah, I've been discriminated against too. Like I've been in awkward situations with some racist people, yeah. But instead of like making me relate to her, it just made her like a caricature to me of like the entire Black American experience. Like it was just all supposed to be on Riley. And I'm like, that's not how that works. It just made her super flat to me and like compared to, she was always talking about racism. She was always just going on these long spiels about how racism is bad. And I was like, we know. Well, I know. Maybe not everybody knows, but I know. And I'm very tired of these long spiels of just how bad racism is. She would just be saying that in different ways. And I think like in the beginning of the reading, like of starting this book, I was super excited. I was super into it. I was intrigued. And then like the halfway point and onwards, it was a chore to read it. Because for one, it just made me so sad. Just hearing about racism just made me sad over and over again. And not really saying anything new other than, like it's a terrible thing and that like we have to fight it and we gotta be better as a country, and I'm just, it felt really, really flat for me. And I thought that they bit off more than they could chew with it. It was just like, y'all are doing too much. And if y'all would just calm down, it would be better. Like less is more. Less is more is what I would say for that book. But it just, it was so disappointing to me. It was so disappointing. I'm very unimpressed with it. But anyway, yeah, so my third book, the one that like, it's not the first audiobook I listened to. Yeah, but it's kind of a bit. Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed, which I'm super happy I finally got to read because ever since it came out, it was like such a big deal. I feel like everyone was talking about it. And I wanted to read it too, because like, I was like, okay, what is it? And so I had this idea. I knew that it was about like, a Karen in a situation, or, a white woman just being like, not minding her business. Calling the cops on this black girl because she's babysitting her, like this little white child, and she thinks she kidnapped her and took her to a grocery store of all things and was dancing in the aisles, because that's what kidnappers do, of course. Dance with their victims in the aisles of grocery stores. Anyway, but yeah, so she gets like, the cops are called on her, and then there's this white man who's filming it, and then the mother of the child she babysits becomes like kind of obsessed with having a relationship with her, all because she's black. Like if she wasn't black, none of this would have happened. But yeah, so I knew the brief outline of this story, but when I was reading it, I was surprised because I didn't know that she starts dating the white guy who films all of it. His name is Kelly, and then the black girl, what's her name? Amira, and then the woman who becomes kind of obsessed with her in a weird way, her name was Alix. I would like to do like a full book review on Such a Fun Age, because it was just a really weird book. It was a really weird idea to me. I was like, I never would have thought of this really, and how this, and I really like it for that I guess I gave it 3 stars, I think. Yeah, 3 stars. And I'm like, maybe it's the 3.5, because I did really like it, but at the same time, I don't know. My feelings aren't completely like solidified yet, I guess. But anyway, yeah, Such a Fun Age. It was really, I liked it though. I did like it. I thought, in contrast to We Are Not Like Them, Such a Fun Age is a very like niche and subtle look at racism in America and how it can affect someone, like someone unsuspecting, kind of, well, not unsuspecting, because if you're Black American, you know, you expect it. But like Amira is just like a regular Black girl who really has she's like just trying to figure it out. But because of racism and yeah, like the other people's perceptions, these two white people are like vying for her attention in a really, really weird way. Like I said, my thoughts really aren't solidified on this, but I did think it was interesting. I liked how it ended. But yeah, so that was my third book. And then the fourth one, which would be, I guess, the best of the whole month, is Confessions by Kanae Minato, which I already, she already my girl after Penance. I love her. And she just solidified that position for me. I love Kanae Minato, I really do. So it was just an audiobook, and it was a really good audiobook, first of all. And it's like her debut novel, and it was about this teacher who her daughter drowns, but she knows it's not a drowning. She's like, no, 2 of my students killed this girl, killed my daughter, so then she seeks revenge, kind of. And it was so good. It was so good. I read on Goodreads that she's like, in Japan, they call her the queen of EU mystery. Now it's a Japanese word, but I'm not even going to attempt it because I know I'm going to say it wrong. But basically, like, translated, it's EU mystery. And that is a perfect description of what she does, because she just be doing the most outlandish, foul things. Writing that down, handing it to her editor, and they be publishing that, and you're just sitting there with your jaw dropped because you're like, dang, yeah, I never would have thought of this in my wildest nightmares. Never would this have occurred to me. But it was really good. Jaw dropped several times, and there's a movie, I'm pretty sure, so I'm going to hunt that down, and I'm going to watch that too, because I know that's going to be great. Weird application of the word great, but I know it will be. Yeah, and I gave that one 5 stars. 5 stars. I think it was, her debut was stronger than the other book that I read, Penance, I think. Because Penance had like a loose end. I felt it wasn't really tied up all the way. But this one had no loose ends. This one was so freaking good. And I was so happy for that teacher because she did get her revenge. I was like, dang. She said, I don't play when it comes to my own, boo. I don't care. You can hit me in the knees, whatever. You can kill me, but don't be killing my daughter. I was just like, that's the energy. But yeah, so I really liked that one. That one was great. It was actually really weird because the female voice actor, I can't remember her name. She was really good. And she didn't take me out of the story. And then there's a male voice actor for like 2 of the students. And the first student, he annoyed the crap out of me. I'm like, how did he do that? Where the first one was so annoying, but then like the second chapter, he like changes his voice and then he wasn't annoying anymore. I actually thought he was funny until he went too far. I thought he was like a Bakugo who would actually kill people though. Like Bakugo would be talking, he'd be having all that big talk, like, I'll murder all you extras, but he don't be killing nobody. I was like, this would be Bakugo if he actually was about that life. If he's like, if you about it, be about it. If he was about that life, this would be him. Yeah. A lot of mommy issues. That was all it was. But yeah, so I read 4 books in January. Not better than I thought. I thought it was just going to be those 2 for the longest time. Yeah. And right now, I'm in the middle of so many books that it's not even funny. And the books that I have, like, in physical copies right now, I'm like, they're not that interesting to me. So that's kind of sad. One of the books that I was really looking forward to, like, Please Don't Sit on My Bed in Your Outside Clothes. It's not as funny as I wanted it to be. First of all, even though, like, I'm not laughing, even though my brain is, like, can acknowledge that this is humorous. It's just not connecting with me. And then the essays are also super, super long. And I'm struggling. I'm struggling deeply. So, we'll see. And then a Bluebird, which I'm trying to read because someone did ask me to do a review on that. Super slow as well to me. And also, I'm just not interested. I don't know why. I really don't know what that is. But, yeah. I'm probably reading, like, in the middle of 8 books right now, which is just ridiculous. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes for me in the future. Yeah, so that's all for this video. Kind of short. I wanted it to be short though, really. I'm like, it occurred to me, I was like, you ain't gotta have like episodic video at a time. You ain't gotta reach 30 minutes. You good. There's no limit here. So yeah, that's it. That's it for my January wrap up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. It's been Sketchbooks and Bookbooks, also known as Logan. Go read a book. Have some thoughtsy-watsies. Do some adult stuff. I don't know. Live your life. After this, I'm gonna go do my taxes.